A key? Was this always here? I must have missed it when I brought everything upstairs. Peggy, give me some warning before yelling down the intercom.
Sorry. Buzz the intercom when you find something and want to discuss it.
Peggy, I've found a tape and a map down here.
A map of what?
Looks like it might be to somewhere in this storage area.
Weird. Well, maybe the tape will give us more information. Give it a play. Forrest, you should listen to that first tape you found.
George Barrow, 1968. That's when this all began for me. Follow the maps. Find the tapes. I'll be waiting.
Wait, George Barrow? We all heard that he drowned after a night out drinking. Was it actually Clive? Has Clive really been the whistling man for that long?
He says I need to follow the maps and find the tapes. I guess that's what this map is about.
I think we need to see what else is hidden down here. Be careful, Forrest. Keep looking. Buzz the intercom when you found something.
Time of autopsy is 7 a.m. Cause of death is asphyxiation from drowning. The degree of rigor mortis indicates that the subject has been deceased for 5 hours. That puts the time of death...
What have you found, Forrest?
It's an autopsy tape. Doesn't say for who, but I think it must be for George.
Poor George. He was so young.
Something's bugging me, Peggy.
What do you mean?
I swear I recognize the voice of the woman talking on the tape. I just can't place it.
Seriously? Do you think you've met her before?
I don't know. I mean, I just got here recently. I don't know.
Do you think you found everything, Forrest?
I think there's gotta be more down here. I need to find all the tapes.
You think so? How much did Clive hide down there? Well, if there are more tapes, then there must be more maps to follow, right?
That seems to be the case.
All right then. Buzz the intercom when you find something and want to discuss it.
Small lacerations to arms, legs, and face, typically obtained by
This
running
looks
through
useful.
foliage. Severe blistering to the feet, as though the deceased had been running without stopping.
What have you found, Forrest?
Found another tape. It talks more about how George died.
What did it say?
It sounds like he was running for his life. Sprinting through trees and bushes, getting cut up all over.
What would drive someone to do that?
I'm not sure yet. I found a police report. Mentions a friend from earlier, Sandra Sharp.
Sandra. The jazz runner?
That's right. She found George's body washed up at the reservoir.
The reservoir?
Yeah? What's strange about that?
George got cuts from running through foliage, right? But there's no forest around there. Also, how did it wash up at the reservoir?
What do you mean?
Reservoirs don't have tides.
But that's what the police report said.
It's not possible, though. I did a school project on reservoirs and got an A. But, yeah, not important right now. The important thing is that it doesn't make sense.
What are you suggesting then? That the body was originally found somewhere other than what the report suggests? That the sheriff tried to cover it up, but accidentally let something slip?
Something like that. I think.
Well, Sheriff Matthews wrote the report. If he hadn't been eviscerated, we could have asked him.
True. But Sandra is still alive. Once we're done down here, we should give her a call. Do you think you found everything, Forrest?
I think there's gotta be more down here. I need to find all the tapes.
You think so? How much did Clive hide down there? Well, if there are more tapes, then there must be more maps to follow, right?
That seems to be the case.
All right then. Buzz the intercom when you find something and want to discuss it.
Preliminary toxicology results shows no signs of inebriation. However, a high amount of cortisol was found, indicating elevated levels of stress in the immediate moments before death.
What have you found, Forrest?
There's also a tape about a toxicology report. There were no signs of drinking or that he was on anything.
What? But everyone said he went swimming drunk and drowned. It was in the newspaper and everything. Do you think you found everything, Forrest?
I think there's gotta be more down here. I need to find all the tapes.
You think so? How much did Clive hide down there? Well, if there are more tapes, then there must be more maps to follow, right?
That seems to be the case.
All right then. Buzz the intercom when you find something and want to discuss it.
Additionally, there appears to be a post-mortem injury to the arm. It looks like it was trapped in a car door. It is the coroner's opinion that the subject likely feared for his life and was chased, resulting in a fall from a height into a body of water where he hit his head, was knocked out, and drowned. Following that, he was moved.
Dr. Sullivan, we need to have a talk. Is that recording? Shut it off.
Ooh, a new vinyl for my collection.
If you're listening to this, then I'm probably dead.
What the?
I'm a man who likes to stay informed. I've got subscriptions to newspapers all over the country. A few weeks ago, I noticed headlines cropping up in those papers, one after the other. Each headline about a murder. Each murder, the death of someone I knew almost 20 years ago. and each one drawing closer to Gallows Creek, drawing closer to the anniversary. None of us are innocent, but I don't think we deserve killing. All I hope now is that I can save some folk from the worst, and I can, I don't know, do something to make up for what I did back then, I guess. I didn't kill anyone, mind you, but that's past mattering. Now, there's more I could say than I should say, but my employer made it clear that my family would pay a high price if I ever spoke out. So, hopefully I've said enough for you, listener, whoever the hell you are, to start putting the truth together.
What the hell? Peggy is not going to believe this. This has to be important.
What have you found, Forrest?
I found a tape that introduces a new detail to the story. Post-mortem injury. Apparently, his arm got caught in a car door.
A car door?
Yeah, after he died. How do you suppose they can tell?
How can they tell? I'm a radio producer, not a coroner.
The written report I found doesn't mention it at all.
How did his arm get trapped in a car door after he died?
Unless he got it when the police collected his body, I guess someone else must have moved him after he was dead to where he was eventually found.
But the report, what is going on here?
In another tape, the coroner comes to the same conclusion as I did. George was running from something.
Maybe an animal?
Maybe, but then there's this next bit where the coroner thinks he was moved post-death.
So she agrees with us.
At the end of the tape, someone burst in and demanded the doctor, Dr. Sullivan, to stop recording.
Dr. Sullivan. Wait, Virginia Sullivan? She was her caller from earlier.
Well, then our caller was involved in a conspiracy around this boy's death. We need to call her back once we finish down here. It looks like she might know something about what's going on. I found a written autopsy report.
What does it say?
According to that, it's just like you said at the start. George drowned after getting drunk. Said he liked to fight, too.
But that contradicts the tape.
I know, and I think I know why. There's a note with the report that says, "I'm sorry I made you do this, Virginia."
If it was on the autopsy report, then Virginia must be our coroner. Wait, the caller from earlier, when we had to call the takeout restaurants, wasn't her name Virginia?
I think I found Clive's last recording. I think Clive might be gone.
Gone?
I found a confession. Not for any killings, but for playing a part in covering up George's death. He left this behind in case he died. He hoped someone would find it.
Do you think the whistling man already got him?
Possibly. We've had a lot of callers tonight, but maybe not every victim made it to the phone, you know? We don't know how many there really are.
Christ, Forrest, that's dark.
I know, but Clive said he had read about other murders in other towns, and that the murders were all folks who knew about the incident. And the killings were getting closer to Gallows Creek. He said he wanted to do something good for once.
The board in his office. He wasn't tracking people down to kill them. He was tracking them down to save them. Ugh, why didn't he just come out with all of this?
He said his employer threatened his family if he spoke out about any of it.
His employer? The one who orchestrated the cover-up? Oh, Clive. I'm sorry for thinking you'd killed all those people. Do you think you found everything?
I think so.
Forrest, what's going on here?
Someone wanted that boy's death to seem like an accident. And they hired Clive to make it look that way.
Come back upstairs when you're ready. We need to figure out our next step.